Hi, I'm Candace Dotson-Reed. I'm the AVP for Communications and Public Affairs at UMBC. And today I have my guest, Richard Byrne, with me. He's the editor of the UMBC magazine.
Hi.
So, Richard, tell me about your role with the 50th anniversary.
Well, we've been working on the 50th anniversary for about 18 months, planning ways to reach out to alumni to make sure that they knew about this really important event. And we've done a really successful job in building the infrastructure, building a lot of recognition in our community, and also an immense marketing campaign outside of UMBC that talks about what's become our theme, which is grit and greatness. So you'll see it at the Orioles Stadium at Camden Yards. You'll see it on various places around the city. We want everybody to know that UMBC is very, very proud of reaching this milestone.
Great, thank you. UMBC is known as a place of inclusive excellence. I know you're an alum as well as the editor, and so can you give us your perspective on that?
One of the great things about UMBC is that it was founded at a moment when Maryland higher education was undergoing an incredible transformation in terms of not just racial demographics, but also number of women in universities and just a great explosion in higher education in general. So UMBC was able to be a pioneer and to innovate in a lot of ways with teaching, with curriculum, with how the university was organized. We've always been an interdisciplinary place, and we've always had the seeds of inclusive excellence, and really it was the presidency of first Michael Hooker in the late 1980s, and then our current president, Freeman Hrabowski, who really seized on that foundation and have made this really the hallmark of the university, inclusive excellence.
That's great. That's really great. So UMBC is a serious school. We are proud of our academic reputation, but the 50th is going to be fun. So can you talk a little bit about some of the fun activities that we have going on? I know there's a puppy parade, some other things.
Yep. We really wanted to make sure that our alumni knew that this was a celebration and not a continuation of their excellent coursework. There are going to be fireworks. There are going to be there's a community zone called the House of Grit that's going to have all sorts of fun, educational, slightly silly, just great activities for kids, for families, for everyone to kind of understand that this is a place that celebrates education and celebrates knowledge, but that is really an exciting and fun thing. So we're going to have a full day of activities on Saturday, September 17th. And then our Founders Day will be Monday, September 19th, and President Hrabowski will give a speech on that day about what UMBC's 50 years really mean in terms of American higher education and Maryland itself.
Okay, let's take a look.
The university is doing so well. Just 3 or 4 statistics, and we can talk tonight later. We are on the list of the most innovative places in the country. The list had number 1, Arizona State, number 2, MIT, number 3, Stanford, number 4, UMBC. Give us a big round of applause. And in the best undergrad teaching in America, it had Princeton, some other place, and it got to number 6. And ahead of Stanford, ahead of Brown, it had 2 places. One place cost $65,000 named Yale University. The other place was UMBC. Give us a big hand. The idea of a university that's under 50 years old being tied with an institution that was founded in the 1700s and being called best in class speaks volumes about the quality of not only the faculty here and staff, but of what our students do. This year, our commencement speakers are amazing. And just one example, I won't mention the other because we have to get it approved, but one example for undergraduates will be the president of Harvard, Julie Faust. I mean, because she just has that kind of respect. When I was there for their commencement, she said, the oldest salutes the youngest, because we send so many students there from science to medicine to law. And so you can be very proud of the fact that our students are doing well. You are doing so well. You will see the construction. You walk around campus, and whether you graduated in the 70s, 80s, or 90s, even if you graduated in the last 15 years, you may find yourself trying to figure out where you are. Don't feel old, just feel vintage. I will give you, and so we've had, when we get this next, we just finished the entrance to the campus. If you go look at that, you'll see this lovely pond area out here. When you go out, you'll see that. You'll see the new Arts and Humanities building, getting ready to put up a new life sciences, interdisciplinary life sciences building, a new event center. We'll finally be bringing commencement back to campus, which will be really nice. Big deal.
We're going to take a break right now, Richard. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So Richard, tell us a little bit about UMBC's history.
UMBC has actually a very fascinating history because it started out as sort of the special new child of the University System of Maryland. There was a lot of money spent to create the university and build the original vision. What ended up happening, though, was in the 1970s, basically the student population dipped a bit. There was some confusion at the state level about what UMBC's mission was, what it should actually be doing, and then that started to really come into focus in the mid-1980s, where UMBC finally was basically given its task of being a very strong undergraduate liberal arts institution, that it was going to be allowed to develop its strengths in the STEM disciplines, and that it was going to have a strong graduate school component in selected fields and disciplines. And that vision, we've been able to really build on that, and but it took us a little while to get there.
Okay, great. So I know we just went through a strategic planning process, and while I'm new and wasn't here for the beginning of that, I'm really pleased to see what came from that process. That was very inclusive of internal stakeholders and external stakeholders. Can you talk a little bit about the strategic plan?
Yeah,
where we're going?
Strategic planning was one of those things, when you look at the history of UMBC, that basically got the university into a little trouble. They weren't really doing that strategic planning. So in the mid 70s and early 80s, strategic planning started becoming a much more important part of the university's sort of ecosystem, and now it's a very regular event. We had a strategic plan in the mid 2000s that we have actually exceeded in terms of the goals and what we've been able to accomplish, and we've just gone through what is essentially a 2-year process to create a new strategic plan that was timed with the 50th anniversary and some other accreditation issues to really focus on where is UMBC going in the future. It had an amazing amount of consensus and input from everyone at the university, from different departments, from different staff members, from students, and I think we've really come up with a terrific plan about, while we're celebrating UMBC's past this year, we have an excellent plan of where the university is going to head in the future.
Okay, let's take a look. welcome back. Wasn't that fantastic?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to a break. Welcome back. So, Richard, tell me, where's your favorite place on campus?
Wow. Okay. There's a lot of favorite places at UMBC. My favorite place is the library. And when I was a student here in the mid 1980s, the library didn't have a tower yet. It was still a flat 2-story building, and that I think is one of the things that all alumni who have been here from the 80s on are really amazed about, which is the growth of UMBC. The physical growth of UMBC. It's been extraordinarily impressive. It started with the library. It moved on with a new student union called the Commons that opened in the early 2000s that has become really the focal central point of a lot of campus events and communities. We have a new performing arts and humanities building, which is one of the most astonishing arts structures in Maryland at the moment. It has a state-of-the-art proscenium theater. It has a black box. It has what I think is going to be an internationally recognized concert hall. It's just an extraordinarily building,
beautiful,
and also filled with classrooms and filled with all sorts of places where students are going to learn as well as do. We've got a lot of stuff in the works as well. We have a new interdisciplinary life sciences building that I think we're planning for about 3 years from now, that's really going to take UMBC where research is going in terms of biology, the combinations of biology, chemistry, physics, and also computer science. And this new building is going to create a space where those people can work together on projects that a biologist alone couldn't do, or a chemist alone couldn't do. And we're also building an amazing new events center, which is going to be a home for a lot of UMBC's athletics, including its men's and women's basketball teams. But it's also going to be a place which makes sure that UMBC can bring its commencement ceremonies, which are held downtown right now, back to campus. It's going to be a really exciting prospect.
That's really exciting. As an alum, I'm excited about having commencement back on campus.
Yeah,
it's
and
exciting.
The other thing that's really interesting, one more notion about the physical growth, you asked about some of my favorite places. Some of my favorite places at UMBC are green spaces, which have been here since the founding of the university and have been protected. Despite all this growth, they still exist, they've still been protected, and that's been such an incredible priority of our president, Freeman Hrabowski. UMBC had a reputation for a long time as a commuter school and not a particularly attractive school aesthetically. That, along with these new buildings and these new architectures, that has changed so dramatically. You drive onto our campus from 95, you come into an incredible new campus opening that helps control traffic flow, but also looks really tremendous. And you feel like you're driving onto an actual major American university, which we are. So it's really exciting.
So, Richard, do you have any last thoughts for us?
Especially if you're out there and you're a UMBC alumni or a former UMBC faculty member, former staff member, we really, really want you to come see us on Saturday, September 17th for a day-long just cavalcade of events that are really going to celebrate all aspects of UMBC and family, friends, fun, and puppies.
I mean, everybody loves puppies. So tell me the most interesting thing that has ever happened to you at UMBC.
Well, I would say the experience that really stuck with me the most and that carried forward was being invited to be the editor of Bartleby, the literary magazine at UMBC, which has an amazing history, some of it slightly controversial. And that was the thing that really, now I edit UMBC's University magazine, but I learned so much about the technical skills of editing and the practical skills of editing by being given a chance here at this university to put those things into practice as a student. And that's just the kind of experiences that makes UMBC such a special place for all of its alumni. Those experiences aren't just with a literary magazine, they're with research, they're with science, they're with arts, they're with a wider range of ways that you can learn to become a leader and add to your academic experiences.
Thank you, Richard. That's great. We'll be right back. Well, I hope you enjoyed this show. Richard, I hope you enjoyed your time here.
Indeed.
We'll see you next time on Top of the Morning.